Hello and welcome to my review of Kakegurui episode 10. It seems a bit weird to start a channel off at episode 10 of an anime, but once you're inspired to do something, you just go out and you do it. So we start out the episode finding out where the president's been. Apparently she's at a meeting with the higher-ups of the academy, most likely. Probably gonna discuss Yumiko, what she should do with her. I'm thinking the president will be coming back and she'll straight up challenge Yumiko instead of Yumiko having to challenge her, considering Yumiko is currently using her public match uh, advantage stipulation. I don't know what to call it. Privilege, public match privilege against this new glasses guy. What's his name again? Manuda. His name is Manuda. Yeah, I like this game. It's brought it back to a more Western type feel, like a game that a lot more people would recognize poker. But of course, it can't just be normal poker. You gotta have a little twist in it. Otherwise, it's not anime. It's not Kakegurui. But yeah, but it's interesting. You can't make someone fold, but any hand could be good. If you have a terrible hand, as long as you have an ace, you've got the best hand. Well, that's if you have the choice. I like that it went into Manuda. He was going very psychological, using so many calculations. However, in the end, he's just realized this woman is so irrational that you can't truly calculate what she's going to do, but he can because he's that good. I'm contradicting myself, but he said it himself. All you need are the fundamentals, and then you can manipulate the game however you see fit. However, I do want to bring it back to something Yomizuki said at the start, that even though everything seems to be working alright at the front, you should be wary because that usually is a sign of everything falling apart behind the scenes. And that's what I think is probably going on here. Manuda has the upper hand right here. Even Satome-san said so. This game is made so Yumiko would most likely lose. She even said there's a zero possibility that she'll win. However, it's Yumiko we're talking about here. It's not necessarily she has something under her sleeves, because she is just a crazy gambling addict. However, the fact that she is a gambling addict means she knows her way around some tricky situations. So she'll probably pull the rabbit out of the hat here and win somehow, and that will bring Sumeragi one step closer to becoming king. But why does she want to be king? I thought she was a chick. Shouldn't she want to be queen? Oh well, I get what she means. You know, another interesting thing happened in this episode. We finally get to hear from the vice president. It turns out she has a voice modulator in her mask, so we don't truly know her voice. That could be, I don't know how it would have worked. There could have been a possibility it would have been a student we already knew. That could I could see that happening. We meet a new face. She has her hair tied up, so we don't really see that she's the vice president, but we see her hair color. We kind of know she's the vice president without actually knowing. But yeah, and then she could befriend Yumiko and then challenge her, put the mask on, put the hair down. Well, I was actually the vice president the whole time. That's just a fan theory that I want. But it's not even the fan theory. It's not because there is no character like that. Just a alternate route the anime could take that would be kind of interesting. Don't know how they would play that off. Maybe she'd have like a couple blue streaks in her hair or something. I'm going too into it, but yeah, it's very interesting seeing that she has a voice modulator. I don't know why. Maybe she hates her voice. Maybe the president forced her to do it. Maybe she was the previous president and was so embarrassed by how she was utterly decimated by the first president, she's decided to cover up her face, to cover up her shame, because we don't know who the first president was, actually. I don't think that has been mentioned. If it has, I'm sorry, I forgot. Now, going into the game of choice poker, I very much like this. I like the outcome that Yumiko did lose most of her money, because it brings that bit of realism into it. Even though she's the main character, she just can't go around winning everything. Like, literally in gambling, where it's so flip-floppy, who can win, who can lose. I don't think it's good to ever have the character win everything. It's good to win most of the time, because there's examples in life where a lot of famous gamblers, they're winning most of the time. It's like you usually don't bet against them, but they can lose. That's the thing. That's the great thing. My question is, will there be any cheating involved in this? The vice president just came up, was like, "I'll be dealing." The vice president is the vice president for a reason. As I said previously, she could have been the previous president. She could be good with a sleight of hand, like in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. There was a character who was very good at dealing and controlling the deck, doing card forces. If you're a practicing magician, you know what a card force is, dealing from the bottom. There's loads of ways you can cheat with a ordinary deck of cards. So, is that going to come into it? Will Yumiko bust the vice president for cheating or not? I don't want that to happen. I don't want there to be any cheating. I just want Yumiko to just win by luck. Not by luck. It's not all going to be luck. I hope she's so out there and crazy, and Manuda is trying to think what she's thinking, and he's just completely wrong about something. And that is most likely what's going to happen. Is there's always a character who's always doing these calculations, and he's getting everything. He's very accurate with everything, and then he gets something wrong, and it just throws him off. And then they usually collect themselves, but you know that still hurts them, and that'll be their downfall. Yeah, so something like that will probably happen. They'll make the wrong move. He'll choose stronger instead of weaker or something like that, and then he'll just be so surprised. He'll be thrown off his game, and then it'll just be over from then, and Yumiko will probably win. If she doesn't win, that'll be very interesting. I would very much like to see how she comes back from that. But there's only 2 more episodes left. I have not read the manga. I don't know how it's gonna end, so I'm really excited to see what happens next week. The last thing to come out of this episode is the relationship between Sumeragi and Manuda. Manuda is actually the person who recommended Sumeragi for the school council position. However, he was a bit reluctant to give us that recommendation at the beginning. However, he did see the ambition in Sumeragi, and I believe he saw that ambition as a way to control her, because we find out that in the end, he never saw her as an equal, even though he did say they were the same type of person. However, that was just a ruse, because he knew he could use her as a pawn, and that just makes you feel for the character a little bit more, and the character of Sumeragi, that is not Manuda, and you despise Manuda a bit more, because when we first start to see him doing his things, you see he's a bit of a cold, calculated character. However, you didn't have any reason to really dislike him. He was just doing what he needed to do because he was on the council. However, we see the side to him where he just uses people, and we see how he says all the other councilmen and women losing were just footholds for him, and that just shows so much disrespect to his fellow councilmen and women peers. And yeah, he's just a despicable guy. You just can't get behind anymore. So, good way to build up a character to lose. If he is in fact going to lose, if he doesn't, we'll really want to see him lose going into the future. Yes, so that has been my review for Kakegurui, episode 10. It's my first review. I don't know how well I did. I hope I did okay. I hope I entertained some people. I hope have the same mindset as some people, because that is the reason I decided to do reviews and just start it randomly. Because I watch these review channels and I do enjoy them. I do like them. However, sometimes I feel like they're not thinking like I would think. And sometimes you just want someone to think the same way as you, and you just want to have that confirmation that you are a normal person, if you know what I mean. Like, you're not crazy for thinking these things, and then you don't want to just think that your opinions aren't very important, because sometimes you have an opinion on something, and and there's a theory out there, and you're thinking the theory is ridiculous, and this is your theory, and not every time, it doesn't happen every time, but sometimes your theory is correct, and you feel like, damn, I should have said something. And that is exactly what I'm here for. Like, any theory is correct here until proven wrong by the mangaka uh, themselves. So that's kind of what's going on here. So thanks for giving me a listen and checking me out if you made it to the end of the video. Peace out, and your mama loves you.